Sonneveld gets away. Oh, and Hamilton has actually made a really good getaway. So Hamilton now has to make the move work around the outside. But Michael Steffel is still there. Steffel to the outside then, into turn one. Oh, this is great defending for Joshua Hamilton.
Hamilton looks again to the inside under the brakes as well.
Oh, through he goes. Up the inside. Chris Sonneveld powers towards the line now. And victory in the Berlin E-prix goes to the likeable Dutchman. Joshua Hamilton secures second. Joshua Hamilton goes away and the Rome E-prix begins. Steffel is already trying to attack Sonneveld, but Sonneveld cuts him off.
Speed up!
Oh, who was that?
Sonneveld!
Sonneveld, he spun. Nothing could stop Joshua Hamilton today. Pole position, leading every lap, and victory for Joshua Hamilton. And Sonneveld will finish third. Tobias Blumschein leads the way from Rakovic. Once again, Rakovic gets really close to the back contact. Oh, and he's just squeezed through there. That was such a late move there. Oh, he's going to dive at the inside. Oh,
contact!
Rakovic wins the E-prix. Hamilton now finishes third. And we go green in Morocco. And Sonneveld gets a very good getaway. As here we go, Hamilton looks at the inside. And oh no, I've lost between these two, is there? Is that Rakovic going for the lead around the outside of Sonneveld? And he's done it. Sonneveld makes way. Oh, Hamilton's got through.
Oh, Hamilton's on the inside. Gets ahead of Rakovic.
How Sonneveld crosses the line just ahead of Joshua Hamilton to win.
Action in Punta. Good start from Hamilton as well. Gilles Sonneveld, he's up into 7th position. He started this race in 26th. He's had a mammoth run there.
It is Sonneveld going for the move down on Dan Hutt. There we go. Good Sonneveld makes the move into 3rd position.
Hamilton's in the wall! Down on the chicane! Sonneveld goes up the inside line. They go into the wall together, but Sonneveld comes out for his 2nd position. So close now! Don't make a mistake! Right to the back!
He almost threw his way.
It didn't work out! Sonneveld went for the move of the last line, but the day belongs to Joshua Hamilton, who wins in Punta del Este!
The group being set off then, and it's Sonneveld that leads Michael Steffel. Is that Sonneveld?
Sonneveld
way through, yes.
Hamilton too!
And Hamilton through. That was very good there. Sonneveld on the inside of Precker, and he takes 3rd position there. So both our title contenders making moves on the streets of Bern. Here comes Oliver Parikkian. Is that Joshua Hamilton retiring?
No!
Oh no! And Oliver Parikkian, he's got Sonneveld on the outside into turn 8, and Sonneveld's through. But it's the younger Bravatean who goes towards the line and wins in his own right. But here's House Sonneveld, and he takes the championship lead. In Season 1, James Juba was the EERC Formula E champion. In Seasons 2 and 3, it was Harry Smith. In Season 4, it was Michael Koch. And now, here in London, in a world exclusive, we will see who's going to be the champion of Season 5 of Formula E. As you saw in the video, it's between two men, Joshua Hamilton and House Sonneveld. The Brit versus the Dutchman. I'm alongside my co-commentator Joshua Birch. Where have we heard this before, Joshua?
It just escapes me, doesn't it? I've got visions of this large Australian bloke sitting in a very light room as well, making decisions and that long. Something about Flying Dutchman. I can't remember. And there was a Hamilton involved then as well. It's all escaping my mind, but my goodness me, coming to the last one as well. It's so much like the title deciders we've seen in the past, not just in Formula 1 but also Formula E. It's giving us such, they call it D-Day, don't they? Decider Day. And I am so excited and so pumped for this. We know how quick Hamilton is. We know he didn't have a great look last time out as well in Bern. But we know how quick Gilles Sonneveld is as well. Qualified last in Punta. It backfired him a little bit, but we saw how quick he can be. And now they've all got to go around this London E-prix XL circuit as well. We're the first ever E-Series to have this track. It is a world exclusive. I'm loving the detail they've put into it. because it looks identical. And the pressure's on. Everyone's out there. That's why they've done so much practice for this one as well. Because, of course, it only got announced 2 weeks ago when we did it at the end of the stream.
Yes,
where this mystery race was.
Let's point out as well, big thank you to this man, Errol Prefet, and his teammate at Swiss E-Racing, Garrett Gibson, who are, of course, both the designers of this track and a couple of the others that we've seen used, the sort of non-Studio 397 DLC tracks. And they've done an incredible job, I think you'll agree, helping put this together, along, of course, with the organisers, Pascal Eggert and Nick Homard and all the rest. So Nick Homard is helping with the broadcast side, and Pascal Eggert helping with the organisational side and the administration and penalties and stuff like that. But yeah, after 6 rounds, there's 1 point in it, either way you look at it, of course. So in total standings, as qualifying begins and Group 1 is released, it is, of course, it's Josh Hamilton leads 187 to Hal Sonneveld's 186. However, because Josh Hamilton's worst result is the 2 points he scored at Bern, in the drop scores, it is Sonneveld that leads 186 from Hamilton 185.
Yeah, and the best thing about that, Ed, is it is so simple that it becomes winner takes all, because the gap between the point standings as well, 25 for a win, 18 for second, and so on, it becomes just whoever finishes ahead.
Exactly. The only way that they can tie is, I believe, if Hamilton finishes 10th with Sonneveld in 11th, because then there's only 1 point between the two. There's the Iris of Valente going very, very wide there. One of our drivers, actually, from the touring car series, just letting all the big guns through, I guess.
Literally jumping out of the way of Sonneveld as well. Sonneveld very much becoming the Senna of this series, isn't he? So
yes,
you see him
what does that make Joshua Hamilton? The Prost rather than the Hamilton?
It's going to be Prost, absolutely, as well.
We're comparing all the F1 title decides because, like you said, Josh, Formula E has seen title decided in London on 2 occasions, Di Grassi and Buemi, and Nelson Piquet Jr., of course. Yeah,
that first one you mentioned, of course, back in season 2. Don't remember how that ended up, with them mounting each other.
Yes,
as well.
And of course that they crash into each other. Even though Hal Sonneveld is sort of ahead on the drop scores, it would go to Joshua Hamilton.
Yes.
Here we go. Sonneveld starts his first flying lap. Let's go on board. Into his helmet as Joshua Hamilton. It looked like he was exiting the pits just ahead of his title rival there. But here we go. Through the first couple of corners. Out through turn 5. Down towards turn 6. This is just underneath what's the entrance to XL, actually. It's a quite impressive looking building. Here we go. There's the DLR in the background. So look, it's a great view of that. And here we go towards then the double hairpin, which of course is going to be removed for the real London E-prix, which tickets of pre-sale tickets have just gone on sale, by the way, and I may have purchased a couple. You can see there's Josh Hamilton in the background, so actually Hamilton starting his own lap. Let's keep watching Sonneveld. You may notice the sparks as he goes over the bump. That's of course the new update. So here we go. It's 21.9 and 28.9 in the first 2 sectors. Eggert about 4 tenths or so behind in both sectors, actually.
It's interesting to point out all that hairpin down at turn 11. I actually liked it, although we did criticise it last year in the commentary, didn't we, Ed? About why is it there? There's no real point for it. But then we saw the races, and it gave us great overtaking spots as well. It's one of the truest overtaking opportunities on the track. So,
here we go then.
Yeah, it's a shame
towards the line. Sonneveld goes fastest then. 1:16.8 is his lap time. So that's what the others have to beat.
Nick Howard's jumped up to second place as well. 1:18.075. It's 1.2 seconds off the pace already in the final Von Motorsport squad. So just out of time. But Sonneveld is pushing hard. So that may have just been an install lap. And now we get to see what his actual lap's going to be. Although he is down in the first sector, Ed.
Yeah, no. Let's see what Joshua Hamilton is up to. Where is Joshua Hamilton on track at the moment? Here he is. Down in 20 seconds, so he's just completing his outlap, actually.
Yeah, he's just down there.
So he's steadily leaving it late. It looks like Sonneveld is putting in as many laps as he can. Joshua Hamilton, all season we know, he's very relaxed. He sort of leaves it to the last minute to do his lap. And I think that just shows the difference in style and philosophy between these two, because Sonneveld is a sort of driver pumps in the hot laps, wants to get as many practice runs as he can. Before the race, he was saying, I've only done about... there's a bit of lag there. But that wasn't Sonneveld's fault. Here we go. Power Source line. Can he improve his time? Pull away from Nick Homewood?
Cross it.
Faster in the final sector, but not quite enough. He's still only 1.2 ahead of Homewood's. 16.8 then remains his best lap.
Yeah, final sector.
Meanwhile,
was 25
Joshua Hamilton, 22.3 in the first sector, which is only a 10th down on what Sonneveld has been able to do. So let's watch the likeable Brit. I called Hal Sonneveld the likeable Dutchman after Berlin, so I think we should call Hamilton the likeable. But they're both pretty likeable characters, I think, overall. But here we go.
Absolutely.
Through the hairpin. This is where attack mode is. As you see the airplane in the background, there's apparently from London City Airport in this game. There's an airplane taking off every couple of minutes, so it's very realistic.
Good realism, yeah.
Chicane looks like Frank Hamming, in the Valley driver, of course, in Formula Sim Racing, has just set a lap about 9/10 slower than Sonneveld. There's a lot of track evolution as well, so look out for the later groups because we're still using the old Season 7. There, Joshua Hamilton, though, just snatches second from Frank Hamming by a 10th. So a good lap there by Hamilton. But that's it then. Quali over. So only one flying lap for Josh Hamilton. 8/10 behind House Sonneveld as Group 2 is released, Josh.
So we're going in to the final with Sonneveld 1, Hamilton 2. And they've still got to go through Super Pole. But these two mean business, and you can just tell that they are prepared for something else to hear today as well as we go into Group 2. And it's an unusual pit lane here, and it does affect them slightly, of course, even in e-racing, because the start-finish straight is in the XL Centre, isn't it? So it's in darkness and lit up, and then you blast into the sunshine at the exit turn 1, then back underneath a small bridge at turn 2 and 3. And it does play with your eyesight a bit, and the contrast does come across in esports as well, because your display rate's going to change dramatically. And some of these drivers, I do know, like to play in their simulators as well, or in the cars, but with their lights off. So they've got their display blaring at them like it's tunnel vision, and it's flashing different lights at them. So it's a real change of perception of vision as well. It's great.
I thought you were going to play on a popular gamer stereotype and say that they haven't seen sunlight in ages, that will shock them coming out of the exhibition centre.
To be fair, I am sat in a commentary box right now, and because I don't need the light on, because nothing's happening in IndyCar, the light is off, so I am actually sat here being illuminated by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens right about now. So I suppose I'm falling into that stereotype. But if it helps, the commentary box door is open.
Okay, so Group 1, we didn't really go through groups, did we? Alessandro Valente, Frank Hamming, Joshua Hamilton, House Sonneveld, Pascal Eggert, Nick Homewood. And as we can see the order there, Sonneveld, I think, has Joshua Hamilton's best lap been deleted?
He has dropped down to third
position.
Hamming
set another lap while we were waiting. Okay, I completely missed that because I thought quali was over. But
Q1 is, Q2 was started.
So Hamming got a lap in that was 2/10 quicker than Hamilton, so already Joshua Hamilton's got his title rival 2 places ahead of him, which is not what he would want at all. Here comes 10 Sonneveld starting his lap. Up the inside. It looked like he just nudged the wall there. Now 10 Sonneveld was victorious, of course. He took his first victory in Bern in Switzerland last time out in a very wet qualifying as it progressively dried out.
Do you remember his reaction as well? He was already lording it over Gilles as well. That I'm finally victorious. It's taken 16 years.
He's the younger
to
brother by like 2 or 3 years, isn't he?
He
a bit
is
like my relationship with my brother, except he was even worse than. Actually, a lot worse than tennis, because I couldn't see my brother ever winning a sim race or even having the interest to start a sim race.
Problem is, I'm the polar opposite. I have elder brother, and so I'm the younger brother. Although technically, I've got a little sibling with Megan.
But anyway, 10. Also, the more important thing is that 10 said that he's going to work with House rather than against him here to help him win the championship. Because if House wins, then that's good for VMS as well, because they are in a battle with into the points in the teams championship, where I believe though VMS are currently leading that after 10's win in Bern. Although Michael Seppel was also right behind him for the into the points, so it's pretty close. But here we go. 10 Sonnenfeld finishes, and it's only 6th fastest for the Dutchman.
1:18.306, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but the super pole for this one should only be inside the top 5, not the top 6. So
there we
he's
go.
just
Is
shy.
that, Rosinski is also still a lap, I think.
Yep.
Quite a way down. Nick Conan too, still on track.
Just keep it on the screens.
But oddly, Rakovic in the first session actually set a. Is he still out there? Because I don't think he is, because he set a purple middle sector 28.8 on his final lap.
He is out there.
Is he? Still going.
Yeah,
then.
look, he's visualised on
Rakovic
it.
is really the one we need to keep an eye on. Here he is.
Here we go. Fourth at the moment. 1:16.823 is his best time. Oh, bang.
And the DLR gets a great view of Miljan Rakovic parting company of his wishbone and tyre.
And it's lucky that it is Waltz, because that would have been it would have been qualifying definitely over, obviously, but it would have been race over as well, because to repair that type of damage would take too long. With the wishbone broken, the wing
Yeah, he's probably
broken,
going to get 1 or 2 laps
broken,
max in this one, but I guess now our attention switches to 10.
Loza in the chat just said R Factor 2 crash noise. And
Some things never change, even with the update.
Nothing. I don't think it should actually. I quite like that crash sound effect. It's warming my heart. It reminds me of when if you're on the original R Factor game, if you played at Gilles Villeneuve circuit as well and went through the bus stop, you could make it, but all the AI for some reason never could. So every race you used to play there, the AI would just launch themselves off the corner and end up sideways on the champion's wall. Honestly, safety car on every single lap. It was ridiculous. Even when it was a safety car, they did it. So that was a glitch on the first R Factor game, as that one was there for Sonnenfeld. He hit the wall. And,
looks like he's going to make a delivery there. And there we go, the rear wheel's missing and the sparks fly. So it's not only Rakovic in the wars. It looks like we're coming to the end of Q2 of Group 2. And
I must just also apologise for my voice. It is back, but it does go every now and then, and it is making me sound like when David Croft had a cold all those years ago.
Yeah, here we go. Anyway, Rakovic starts his lap, and you should get a great view of this too, Josh. He's only about a 10th behind Hamilton, though, so this is absolutely crucial for VMS. They need to spread the pain for Joshua Hamilton and make it as difficult as possible for him to win this championship.
He's got some lovely lines to the first couple of corners as well. He's hooked up perfectly on that racing line, across then for the first sector time, and he's green.
He doesn't hit the wall this time, but yeah, he's up 22.1, which was about 2 tenths faster than Joshua Hamilton. Through he goes into the hairpin,
he's
drifting the rear out. So that was a bit of such a tricky corner as well, because you're braking and turning at the same time, obviously. Not ideal in any car, let alone Formula.
He's locked up. He forgot.
Well, that's that lap abandoned then. Clearly he
forgot.
Lost interest. Yeah. And I think that's it for Q2. Is 10 out there? No. And it doesn't look like Nick Conan or Rosinski are improving. Capriolo's just finishing off his lap down in 12th for the Lost Racing team.
Loza says it gives me PTSD, the R Factor 2 crash noise as well.
And there we go, Capriola remains 12th. So, here we go, Coopers is first out then in Group 3, which is Stefan G, X-Karabi, Zaze, Joe Blahoven, Dennis Vierenga, Tobias Blumschein, and RLR Noko 12 Hun. So I assume that's a Hungarian driver.
Yes.
But Coopers, I think, is definitely one of those people. These are all their Discord names.
Yes, it is the Discord
There's
names.
somebody in Group 4 who's just called Skull on here, so I don't know who that is. But actually, it's pretty easy to see because everyone else uses their real name, including Jan Fiordamana, of course, our Formula E Zone correspondent. Someone's lost the wheel already.
Oh!
In fact, that might be the driver ahead of Bram Coopers on track.
So, double checking, that would be the P18, and that would be...
it's one of the... Oh, would it?
Well, Lahoven's ahead of the driver tracker.
Is he just continuing without a wheel? It looks like he's got all 4 wheels on the wagon. Somebody else must have lost the wheel then.
He's further ahead, 25, so that would be...
Who is there to really watch in this group? Tobias Blumschein is the one that stands out to me. Is he on track anywhere?
Well, I'll tell you what, Ed, you'll have me for the rest of it.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. There he is, locking up, yeah. For those of you who like the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Indy 500, I'm afraid that today's practice has been cancelled. So due to the weather. So no worries, Ed. You've got me for the entire thing. No need to use the waffle code. You've got me for the
Of course,
entire
yes,
race.
that's the code. I was assuming you were going to try and accommodate on both. Mute yourself whenever you're talking about IndyCar.
Yes.
And then just sort of come back in awkwardly. But here's Tobias getting ready for his outlap, and you can see the local fans cheering him on, just as they cheer Joshua Hamilton on, no doubt.
Back through now.
Of course, Tobias was recently at the Berlin E-prix in
was,
his own local
jealous.
race. So he sort of has two home races, I guess. And although he didn't, I don't think he was driving in the EERC Berlin E-prix, as you remember from the very beginning of our introduction. But here, Tobias gets into the first corner, goes over the bump. This, of course, this inside is unique tarmac service on the exhibition hall as he goes out into the car park, which is not a unique tarmac, it's literally just the car park that gets regularly used throughout the year at XL. Under the bridge he goes, and this is looking like a pretty good start to the lap for Tobias. What's this first sector? 22.2, so about a tenth faster than Joshua Hamilton. So he doesn't really care who wins the championship. Tobias is out for to get into Super Bowl himself and really assert his own glory. We've seen him come to such great success in the Endurance Championship, Tobias Blumschein, not just for Iris but for the RFA team as well at Bud, where he had a great that was fighting actually with the main Irish team, just lost out by 20 seconds, him and Carl Magnus Bore in the end. It was so frustrating that Carl Magnus basically made a mistake that we just saw the end of, where it had a big crash as Lahoven completes his first lap and comes out in, looks like just outside the top 10, doesn't it, behind Rosinski, so 13th I believe for Lahoven. No, 12th.
Down there, yep, on the board.
Anyway, here comes Tobias.
He touched the wall of the exit as well.
There we go, but this puts Tobias, of course, into... There we go, just behind Rakiewicz.
Nick Homewood has just sworn vengeance. He's at the Super Bowl.
Oh, well. I mean, he's fighting with Pascal Leggett, so he's ahead of him. So that was what he needed to do. So as far as Nick Homewood's concerned, job done.
Nick was in the commentary box with
we
me.
don't forget, by the way, Nick Homewood and Pascal fighting for third in the championship, I believe. 4 points in the standings, but 2 if you take drop scores into account, with both of them dropping Berlin effectively. Where both of them, I think Nick retired and Pascal finished quite low down after crashing out and basically losing a wheel and having to come back to the pit lane.
Yeah, Nick Homewood was in the commentary box with me this weekend for the touring car races as well.
Oh, that was good of him.
I did mention to him as well.
Out from Tobias, and that's what we've come to expect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, just got surprised by that.
He's jumping massively with those sparks and loving it. Great update on the R Factor there. But yeah, there was 2 teammates hit each other, and I said to Nick about, I did throw a cheeky question in that he's got more experience of hitting teammates.
Being reminded of Marrakesh the previous season now, who never lived that down, daring to fight. It was Tobias, wasn't it?
It was Tobias, yeah.
At the time, before he decided to join Iris in the EERC Championship. Speaking of drivers, Alessandro, he's doing this for Iris as Tobias fails to improve his best lap time. But Tobias would be another excellent candidate if we could sweep him off right and very deep into the exit from the tunnel.
It's in the wall! Square
he ping-ponged there, and that's it for Tobias. Group 4 getting ready to leave the pit lane, I think. But is there anybody else out? I think Precker just set the 12th fastest lap ahead of Lahoven, but he should get another lap in. Did somebody else improve there, Josh?
I think so, and it was Coupier's up to 4th according to my timing screen.
Oh wow, excellent lap then by Bram Coupier's.
Yeah.
There he is for VMS Black, one of the 3 VMS teams, I believe. But it looked like...
That kicked out Tobias. That's crucial. That's kicked out Tobias from the time. So Homewood starts 7th.
Is just about to finish a lap. Mark Horvath in the other Hungarian car. Oh! Hits the wall on exit, so it's probably not going to improve too much from 16th. In fact, he does not improve.
No, he stays out of it.
Where's Precker then, his teammate?
Oh, actually, I'd like to put, he did actually improve on time.
Precker's given up, so there we go. Right. Looks like Group 4 exiting, and one of the people in Group 4 is Oliver Paricchio. It's quite a stacked group. Here we go. Jack Giordamano has also joined. There he is, just waking up.
Hello, Jack.
Excellent. Not the first time we'll see Jack Giordamano in London.
At 8:20, he's only just waking up.
But I mean, it didn't look like he'd done a whole lot of practice beforehand, is what I'm trying to imply here.
Okay.
But he's a busy man, trying to write loads and loads of articles for the good old Formula E magazine, of course. He's got me writing an article about, transcribed an article about Jerome D'Ambrosio that I'm still in the middle of. And there we go. The lack of practice already showing on the outlap as Giordamana narrowly avoids disaster. And looks like a Perikian ahead of him.
I'll say it
So
here.
this group is Peter Schumann, Oliver Perikian, Jack Giordamana, Errol Prefett, Garrett Gibson, Dan Hutt, and the aforementioned Skull, who I believe is Abdul Rahman Valid. Here we go, in the other into the points red car. So 2 of Joshua Hamilton's greatest allies here in Group 4 then, in the form of Perikian and Valid. I don't see Valid doing anything particularly noteworthy in this session, with the greatest of respects, and I would honestly feel similarly about Jack Giordamana as well. I think they'll both be fighting maybe for like somewhere between 15th and 12th at the very best.
I love the water. Look at the water. It's more realistic than Miami, I'll tell you. It's fantastic.
Yes, a very high watermark, you might say. That was terrible. Anyway, here we go. Perikian will start his lap then, just behind. That must be. Is it Giordamana and Schumann and Dan Hutt ahead of him? Dan Hutt. I don't know what accent I'm going for there, but Perikian takes a very shallow line, exiting the exhibition hall. Down he goes. He really stepped out there. Can't afford to do that, really. Joshua Hamilton's not going to because he's just about hanging into Super Pole, isn't he? Because it really the later groups have not really not been particularly threatening. Cooper's got close, Rakovic, Blumschein all got close, but it's really only the top 5 that go through, and so it could get a bit dicey, because I'm sure Joshua Hamilton's watching this with mixed feelings, not really wanting Oliver Perikian to be ahead of him, but at least having him up there would help in the battle against House Sonneveld.
Absolutely, and of course with Sonneveld as well, we know how good he is at not feeling the pressure when being attacked. We saw that in the previous couple of races, because if anything, he is the predator of this series. He's going to go straight forward as well as
Valid, and there we go, almost getting way too much wheel spin at the final corner, but there we go, he finishes the lap in 18th position now, of course, because up to where has
it's Oliver Barker.
Where's Oliver in the order? There, 7th. There we go. See, I've got the big tower. I have to scroll through it to see anyone. It's
a 1:18.031 on his time. Garrett Gibson goes 22nd, 1:22.828. So loses a bit of time there.
Shall we see how Mr. Giordamana is getting on? Oh, there we go. 23rd for the 23 machine at the moment. About a check behind Garrett Gibson.
Yeah, maybe I should. Talking about whacking there. Maybe I should. I've always thought about writing an article, but I'm terrible with writing. I'm much better at talking than I'm writing. But
maybe you could get someone to transcribe for you.
Yes, maybe actually.
Should be. Very, very wide for that second hairpin. You can tell.
He's lost it.
I don't think Jack Giordamana is particularly a fan of this double hairpin. I think he's very glad that it's being just turned into a normal chicane. We're sort of getting two sort of chicane. The second chicane. The hairpins are going to be turned into something basically reverse of the second chicane as Jack Giordamana lets the rear hit out and does exactly what Maximilian Gunther did in the wet in last year in qualifying, if I remember correctly.
I think what's happening is it's going to turn to the right and then it'll turn to the left as the chicane. And
he's actually holding up. Is that somebody behind him?
To anybody listening out of context, I just explained a chicane to them. It wasn't my
intent.
There we
go. By the way, if you saw in the background where Garrett Gibson went, that is this sort of waterfront, and there's sort of loads and loads of chicane. So it's effectively like a bit like Monza, the first chicane sort of cut, but even more extreme. You can skip the pit lane, but you'll be basically the lap won't count if you go down there.
I'm very interested as well. Have we put something in the steward's notes that you're not allowed to drive down the pit lane in order to gain time?
Well, I think the pit lane limit is slow enough. As Gibson really quite has the wall there. Is that really the fastest line? I'm not so sure. Perikian has actually got up to second now while we're rambling on. So there we go. And Joshua Hamilton will just hold on to Super Pole then. I think. Because he's got 3 ahead of him and 1 behind. So anyone else still on a lap then? Valid, I think, is just finishing off. Anybody else lighting up the timing screens?
Not as far as I can tell at the moment. They're all doing okay laps. Valid is the only one.
I think Gibson and Giordamana are finishing off their lap. Dan Hutt as well.
They're in the first sector. They're just in sector 2 at the moment. Gibson and Giordamana. And Hutt is in now the third and final sector. His second sector was a 29.5.
Oh, Valid goes wide again, so I don't think he's quite going to be able to pull this one off. Let's look at Jack Giordamana now, as he's got That must be Prefit right behind him. Is that Prefit? Oh, it's Prefit in the pits.
It must be Gibson. Has to be because they're right together on the track.
Yeah, there's Gibson then.
Yeah.
And Giordano, has he messed up there? Because it looked like he... he disappeared
Steven.
just in front of... Yeah, it's Stefan.
Stefan.
Here we go.
Sorry.
Gibson, sorry. Yeah, I think
it bugs me because the way I'm reading it, it's like it's Stephen, and it's the correct spelling of what my uncle's name is as well.
Also, Hutt actually got up to 4th there while we were watching completely the wrong drivers. So he knocks Cooper's out then.
Looks to me on the back straightaway, which is looking fantastic. So Hutt has got to 4th.
Oh, is Hutt still going?
He's got to 4th, and now
No, he's
5th.
given up that final lap then.
So Hutt 5th.
Oh no, Perikian's time has been added back in then. So Dan Hutt will just miss out then, I think. And Joshua Hamilton will just get through to Super Pole.
Well,
so,
are we having 4 or 5 in Super Pole?
I don't know what happened there because the time screen was basically having a complete seizure.
On my screen it shows Hutt 5th, Hamilton 4th, and it's going to be Rakovic who just misses out as well as Brian Cooper. So we'll wait for the timing screens to get themselves sorted out, but...
Yeah, it's showing Hutt 5th then.
Yeah,
Hamilton
Hutt just
4th,
through.
Hamming 3rd, Perikian 2nd. Sonneveld set the fastest time though. So that is quite ominous really for Super Pole.
Valed stays 11th, and he's just done a time of 1:18.197.
So Valed just wanted to finish his lap. So this looks like Dan Hutt being let out for his Super Pole lap then. 1:16.8 was of course the fastest time in the group stages, but Hutt will set the marker. So pens and paper at the ready, people, because Dan Hutt, after this outlap, he's going to give it his best shot. And, did he hit something on the exit of the pit lane there?
I think he bumped something there, didn't he?
Well, he came to a very, very sudden stop. Steering looks all right though.
Maybe he just caught something with a wheel cap or something. I'm looking forward to it if we can implement the duels next year. Although qualifying will probably take hours.
You have to ask Pascal about that because obviously he's the one who's got to sort of organise that. And the idea is you've got to release them 30 seconds apart, which could be a bit interesting on some of the, because they use so many different tracks and there's no real need. As you see, another airliner in the background. As Dan readies himself for his. We
can't delay. We can't delay the 2 footages either. So.
No, we can't do that. Although, even Formula E, you don't have to do that necessarily. We can sort of just cut between the two.
I don't know why a split screen would work with them both on live laps. That's all I care about. That would.
I really like Super Pole. Personally.
I like Super Pole. I think they should keep.
I think it's just the group stages that people didn't like. We saw it particularly when there was the changing weather in Bern.
Yes,
that really affected things. And I take nothing away from 10 Sonneveld, brilliant lap. But I think Joshua Hamilton and Hal Sonneveld got really badly affected. But anyway, Dan Hutt. Not sure why I keep calling him that. The Spaniard, if I'm to relieve the flags on the back of his rear winglets, sets off then. And he's going to set the marker which all the other 4 drivers in Super Pole will have to follow.
Oh, they're a bit over the curb at turn 1, and he made a mistake through 2. It's really compromised him already as he comes through 3 and 4.
He was very, very close to beating Joshua Hamilton in the group stages, by the way. Here we go, downhill he goes.
Into
through
7.
Under the tunnel chicane to the DLR corner. We need to make up corners because no one else has done that so far. 22.14. So actually pretty good lap by Dan Hutt. Not the absolute fastest, but right up there. 2 tenths down on his very best. But you can claw that back. That's not total disaster. He actually gets the apex very well hooked up here. Through the second set of chicane he goes. And
can we call the hairpin the Big Bendies? Like Big Ben, but Big Bendies.
Oh, go on then.
Thank you. That's the hairpins.
Here we go. Here's the attack mode activation zone, the very snappily named corner, or the car park corner.
It's a car park.
It's all the grandstands. It feels like there are more grandstands in this game than there were in real life when they did this race last year. There we go, which is nice. As we go through the waterfront, yes, into the final couple of corners. The rear stepping out, 29.5 in the middle sector. He crosses the line and sets a 1:18.1.
Okay.
So quite 2 seconds off the time set by Sonneveld. But now Hamilton will begin his lap. And this is absolutely crucial. The World Championship on the line here.
Oh, he's messed it up.
And he wheel spins just a little bit into the first chicane.
He's going to have losing amount of time now.
And the crowd will be cheering him on. Even the people in the plane. Another one is set off since Dan Hutt finished his lap. Even they will be watching and cheering him on. Come on, Joshua. Here he goes through past the DLR. The
Oh,
rear
he's
slides
drifting.
out just a little bit, but he's actually up 22-0. He's up not just on the provisional pole, but also on his time from the group stages.
Right,
so Joshua
into Big
Hamilton
Bendy.
taking advantage of the increased grip. Here we go through Big Bendy 2.
It looks
And
good.
out of the bendy stuff into the switchback chicane.
We should call it the bendy buses.
Oh, just
instead.
avoids the wall, so he's going to gain time on Dan Hutt here. The sparks once more flying
Wow.
as he goes over the
Oh,
bump.
he took care.
There we go, yes. Joshua Hamilton takes flight just like the airliner fans cheering him on. Through car park corners he comes. And just needs to make sure he gets this hooked up.
Oh, that's it.
Just tags the inside wall. And
Nearly
all
lost it
these
there.
little mistakes, they're going to give an opportunity for House Sonneveld later on. But he's up. He's up at the moment. And that's the important thing. Through the final corner he goes. 29-1 in the middle sector. He comes to the line. It will be a 1:16. 1:17.5. There we go. So, excellent lap there, actually. All things considered by Joshua Hamilton. Here comes Frank Hamming now. Round through the final corner. There we go, in another VMS car. I thought they'd get Hamming in the VMS. They're like that, aren't they? They want to stack the deck.
They do.
For House Sonneveld. But I'm sure he's very capable of getting pole position on his own. We'll have to see. The group say, oh, a little bit deep there. Coming out of the car park from Frank Hamming. And he drifts the rear out.
He's just getting a little bit out of shape as well. It's
Yeah,
like
he's
not,
pushing. He's
got
getting a
the
little bit
full setup,
squirrely.
yeah.
But let's see. Because he's got to beat that time by Joshua Hamilton. The 1:17.5. Looks like 1:21.9. Ooh. That's actually a really, really good first sector.
Oh, he's too deep into the first big bendy and into the second big bendy as well.
Yeah, looks like Perikian's getting ready to go just behind him. Where he
Oh, he
goes.
touched the inside wall.
This looks
just
like a very good
push.
lap, actually.
It's quick, but
Yeah, there we
it's
go.
Not,
It was 22. He's about
yeah.
10th ahead.
It's not mistake free though, and there's another one locked up.
29.127, so slightly faster actually than Joshua Hamilton in the middle sector. So there we go. It's going to be potentially onto the second row here for Frank Hamming. The provisional
Into
pole for the
XL.
moment. Yeah.
Kicks
Really
on the
drifting
rear
out. It's
again.
the widest entry that he can. And Hamming. Oh! off the
Oh, big
wall.
whack.
But is it going to be a 1:17.5? Can he eclipse that? Yes,
Oh.
1:17.1. There we go. Good lap by Hamming. Perikian now gets ready to help his teammate out because his teammate is going to be third or fourth now at this rate. Here we go. He starts the lap and the rear slides in, and Oliver's made a real pig's ear of that first corner.
And he's not too good round turn 3 either. The rear looking quite tail happy as well. And it's still sliding down into 5 and 6 as well. He's locked the rears. Oh, he just saved it from a tank
That was
slapper.
very dramatic. That was going all over the place, wasn't it, Josh?
I think he's too fast and too furious at the moment.
More
as he
like
comes
Tokyo,
down. Tokyo
XL
drifting, yeah.
drift, I guess.
XL drift.
Oh, and it really hits quite heavy on the braking. And once again, Oliver Perikian putting on a lovely drift show.
He's
but
been watching
the lap
too much
time
cars too.
ebbing away. Look at that 22.3 in the first sector. That's a couple of attempts down on Joshua Hamilton. So, yeah, there we go. And it's all drama, but it looks spectacular, but it's not quick. I think Niki Lauda once said that as well about his driving style when he was asked, why don't you drift everywhere like Tom Price? And he's like, because, and he had to have another go turning that one in there. I wonder if he pipped the wall. And this is a really bad lap, but he actually did set the fastest middle sector of anybody. Which is very impressive. Yeah, 28.7. Where is this going to put Oliver Perikian? 17.1. That's the time to beat. As he goes over the line, it is a
15.3, 17.3.
17.3. There we go. So he slots in between Joshua Hamilton and Hamming. So Sonneveld now. It's all up to him. And the pressure will never be heavier on House Sonneveld than it is now. The title on the line. Pole position on the line. Will it be House Sonneveld or Frank Hamming on pole for the London E-prix? Here we go then. For the 17.1, the time to beat. And surely House Sonneveld can beat his VMS stablemate. Here we go. This looks very, very rapid indeed already. The first sector 22.0. So it's actually about a tenth slower than Frank Hamming so far. Here we go into the bendy bus corners. I forgot what we called them there.
Big bendy.
Big bendy, bendy bus, whatever. I thought we'll call one big bendy, the other bendy bus.
Let's
Here we
call
go
it
through the
Red
switch
Farming
black.
and be done with it.
Here we go into the second split. What's this going to be for House Sonneveld as he nearly flies up into the air?
Yeah,
Oh, it's the fastest middle sector of anyone, 28.7.
Yeah,
so he's clawed it back now.
Yeah, the timing overlay has knackered itself, but don't worry, we've got the timing, so...
Yeah, so he's about 3 tenths up then on Frank Hamming. Through the final couple of corners he goes. And this is going to be pole position for House Sonneveld. The number 11 VMS car comes through the final corner now.
We're waiting.
And it's going to be...
Yes!
There we go, pole position, 1:16.6. So he beats his best time from the group stages, I think. 25.8 in the final sector, was 2 tenths faster again than Frank Hamming. What an absolutely superb lap by the championship leader and contender. So it will be Sonneveld on pole position from Frank Hamming, Oliver Perikian, Joshua Hamilton, and Dan Hutt. Or no, I think Hamilton will actually start third. Because I think I think Perikian was slightly slower than him actually on his lap. So Hamilton has got 2 VMS cars ahead, and Frank Hamming will be playing an absolutely crucial role here. Joshua Hamilton, we need to clear him pronto, won't we, if he wants to win this thing.
Yeah, of course, with Super Pole, all previous times are deleted, and then the grid gets correctly made. So we'll go into the warm-up now. But
let's refresh the timing overlay, because I think it's sort of given up.
Yeah. It gave up after qualifying.
There we go. It should be a little bit more reliable now, but
okay.
This is the point where I almost feel sad now that there's only one more race to go, Josh.
Yeah, and I must admit as well, because pretty soon I'm not going to have any esports to commentate on, because we
have got some special events to fill the gap that Nick Coleman and Pascal will announce after the race, obviously, rather than before. We don't want to take attention from our wonderful title battle that we're anticipating.
Even PSGL finishes tomorrow for about 3 months as well. So
yeah, summer break. In fact, Formula Sim Racing, they've got some rescheduled races that because there was a DDoS attack on some of the servers. So there's a Pro Championship race at Silverstone and a World Championship race at Suzuka that need to be rescheduled. And guess who's still doing the World Championship highlights from Spa? The final couple of laps at Spa were absolutely insane. Where basically there was a big crash, basically. And,
plenty of time.
But you're right. There'll be plenty of time to look at that later.
So,
but Sonneveld waits to be put, and actually Josh Hamilton will start 4th then. So Perikian will need to probably need to move aside somehow.
That'll be interesting. That's turn 1, yeah.
But Hamming and Sonneveld late to the grid then.
Look at the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Actually, Hamilton's technically on pole at the moment because they haven't connected in and got themselves onto the grid. So the crowd will be cheering this.
Yes, and Sonneveld...
Virtual crowd, of course, not real people.
Sonneveld for VMS 1, Hamming VMS for number 2, into the points racing with Parkinson 3rd, into the points racing for Hamilton 4th. Then behind them, VMS of Hutt, Coupiers and Rakovic as well. Then we've got 10 Sonneveld and Viestra down in the 11th and 12th place. So they are literally... stacking the field, as you said earlier on, Ed, as here we go. We're getting ready for the lights to come on and the race to go green in London.
Go then. This is the view that House Sonneveld has of the 5 lights. Here they go. They come on now. And the title will be decided in 45 minutes plus 1 lap. Away goes House Sonneveld. Then the London E-prix begins. And immediately he chops across, but Perikian is diving up the inside of Frank Hamming, and Joshua Hamilton's right behind the 2 of them. And this is not good times for either as they go inside of one another briefly, but Perikian on the outside, and Joshua Hamilton needs to make sure he doesn't trip over these 2. But House Sonneveld accelerates away into the lead and will disappear into the distance. This is not the start Joshua Hamilton needed. He's still got his teammate ahead of him. But surely into the points, they're going to have to pull out all the stops to win this title now.
But it's a dream start for Sonneveld as well. He got a clean getaway.
And for Tobias Blumschein ahead of Dan Hutt into 6th.
As they all filter through.
And it's all happening. Look at this. Frank Hamming's got the 2 into the points cars trying to go around the outside of him. And Hamilton just holding up Joshua Hamilton. So Perikian through the 2nd now. Surely Oliver will chase after House Sonneveld with everything he's got. But the gap is already 2.5 seconds now.
Yeah, Hamilton got shoved into the wall of the exit there as well, so that's not going to please him. And beyond the call to the stewards already saying that's unfair. But look at Tobias, as you said, Ed, up to 6th position, looking great. Homeward down 7, there's contact further back.
Cooper's got back in front of Tobias Blumschein actually. There we go. It's all getting very, very bunched up.
Stefan and Capriola in the pit lane, as well as a few other cars.
Oh, could we be over for a restart then if some people didn't get on the grid? There we go. I think Rakovic is the last on the grid. He had an awful start, actually. But there we go. Hamming still leading Joshua Hamilton in the battle for third.
No sign of the red flag. Did Valerie rejoin? Apparently he didn't connect. So, yeah.
I think the race will have to go without Abdulrahman Ballad then. There's Jack Gianamana down in 17th in his home race, holding up Stefan.
On the wall. The two teammates
it's hard for
hit
you
each
to tell
other.
because the lag is quite horrible at the moment.
He ran into the back of Jack Gianamana, so a bit of contact there from, well, it would be Lahova, wouldn't it? Hit the back of him. But here comes Tobias.
And Joshua Hamilton once again attacks Frank Hamming into the hairpin and dies at the inside. And just has to back out there.
I think they got stuck together there, a bit like in Hamilton and Massa Monaco 2011 at the hairpin.
Drifting. Starting to close on Sonneveld. Got the gap to 1.8 briefly there, so the gap stable around about 2 seconds. But Joshua Hamilton having a bit of a nightmare at the moment, and not only that, he's got Coopers and Blumschein closing in on him as well. Coopers and Blumschein having an excellent little battle for 5th position, and in the battle meanwhile for 3rd in the championship, Homewood is in 7th, Eggert down in 10th, so bad start for Eggert. Just dropped off the back of Nick Homer, so Nick Homer doing everything he needs to do really to take that 3rd position in the championship. Eggert technically could win the drivers if Sonneveld and Hamilton score no points and Eggert wins and sets fastest lap. So if you want to place a bet on Pascal Eggert, it's long odds, but I doubt they'll pay out.
No, I don't. Not certainly now the race has started. I don't think any bookies would take that money yet. But we'll still count it if you put it in the YouTube chat. Alonso is certainly entertaining himself in the YouTube chat with the server, as it is glitching a little bit, but that's just with the server issues. I think all the cars are now out on the track, which is great news. So we have got people starting the race. No sign of the red flags, which is decent. We are on lap 3 of the race.
Yeah, there we go. So looks like how Sonneveld has got this under control at the present moment, as we see yellow in first sector. I guess that's just whenever they go through the double hairpin, there's a yellow flag. So that seems to be the path of the course, I guess. And I'm going to check the YouTube chat as well, just to make sure that I'm on top of things. Pascal shouldn't have been a cheapskate and should have bought a saddler server.
Maybe it won't put me there.
Well, getting wording for the sponsor there, or was that Lahoven having a little go at Schumann, I think. One of the Finnevon cars trying to make position as Blumschein once again battling with Coopers, having a look at each other. They're in contact in the final corner, and Nick Homer's got a great view of this actually as well.
And I bet the inner race director and Nick is going to be commentating over this as well, giving him penalties galore, but it's great for the battle. They've all just set their fastest lap
Joshua Hamilton is about a second off now, Hamming, so he's decided to back off for the time being. Here he is.
Contact again!
Almost looks like contact every corner with this horrible lag.
Who's that?
That's one of the Finnevon cars coming into the pit lane. Was that Homewood? No,
it's Conan.
There we go, and there's Pascal desperately trying to catch back up. But almost hitting the wall there. Nick Conan takes a visit.
Hutt's taking attack mode.
Oh, Dan Hutt then. So after a not great start, going down to 12th, Dan Hutt trying to gain positions here. And up the inside he goes of, that looks like Valente, and he pushes Valente out wide.
Valente's going to the inside. Takes him off.
Bumps into him there on the exit. So yes, it's not quite so easy to use attack mode to overtake through there, as it's all getting very mixed up here. I think Homer dies at the inside of Bram Coopers for 6th position, and is he going to pull that one off?
Yes,
he is. That was brave by Nick Homewood, and now he's free to chase after Tobias Blumschein, but Hutt the first to go for attack mode and stuck behind Valente really. So attack mode not quite as powerful as looked like someone almost got pushed out there into the waterfront, and Hamming falling into the clutches now, Joshua Hamilton. So we will try and update you of the title battle as well, but we want to make sure we're still being entertained, because it could be quite a while before anything happens up front. There's Villarenga. He's not really up to much, sadly.
Well, as it stands, Sonneveld will be the champion, as he is clear of Hamilton.
By quite a way too, because Hamilton in 4th would only get about 30 points. I believe Sonneveld would... I'm getting the scoring system wrong, aren't I?
Massively, I was thinking there, as Hamilton, touching the back
40
again
points for a win, 36 for second, 35
Sorry, Ed,
third.
Hamilton's got to run
up the outside. Could Hamilton go for attack mode here? That would be brave. And Frank Hamming pushes him to the outside.
Oh, he just missed the attack mode, but that was the plan. Back on the inside line and shut the door. The exit.
And Hammy lets him through. So now Joshua Hamilton finally released. But he's 10 seconds down now. That's how good a job Frank Hamming did of holding him up for his teammate. So now Joshua Hamilton's got to press on, but make sure he's still got energy in reserve for the final stages of the race. 38 minutes left, but it's Oliver Perikian ahead of him to the tune of about 8 seconds.
No safety cars, no code 80s. You want to make time, you've got to do it.
What is the plan now for Into the Points? Is the plan for Perikian to keep putting the pressure on Sonneveld, or is the plan for Perikian, right, drop back, let Hamilton through? And,
no, it's too much. Hamilton's got to catch up on his
because Hamilton's
own.
not going to win the championship in second position with as long as Sonneveld's ahead. So there is no need really for team orders at the present moment. Josh Hamilton's going to have to do this by himself, and really, by qualifying behind Oliver Perikian, he sort of set himself up for this, didn't he? And there's Oliver Perikian just ahead, and he will certainly be aware as he's actually dropped 2 seconds off the back now of Sonneveld. So maybe they are going to do a swap shop. As looks like Ruzinski has got into attack mode, and he's having a little battle as well. Here he is.
Now, you get 2 attack modes, so if I was Hamilton, I'd take one now. While Sonneveld and Parkan haven't, you'll close down that gap. Although he's done quite a good job. He's only 3 seconds off the back of Parkan now, and that means 5 seconds of Sonneveld.
He didn't go for it this lap, and neither did Frank Hamming.
I would have taken it this lap. I really would have, because then you get 3 minutes to do it.
Interesting, as Perikian goes for attack mode, Sonneveld is being held up by traffic now.
Okay, so maybe Perikian then is going to go and catch up Sonneveld and then back him up into the path of Hamilton. But either way, they need to do something quick. Eggert's out.
Sorry about that, but Pascal Eggert is out of the race then, and that is absolutely catastrophic for him. So clearly a crash or a disconnection there, and I think a crash because he's shown up in the garage. Yeah. So that's absolutely horrific. As Prefet and Villarenga just getting around the outside of Errol Prefet, as actually Nick Conan sees Lahoven and Horvath in a battle behind him. But these guys are all going to get lapped quite soon, as Perikian now also comes to lap them because Sonneveld is negotiating them too. So let's keep an eye really on the leaders, as Joshua Hamilton and the overlay is really not playing ball today because it's only showing the top 3. It's like it's only interested in the title battle. There we go, that's more like
Seems like it, yeah, there we go. There we go. Battle back on.
We're not talking too much about him, but Valestra has just gotten by Sonneveld. 10 Sonneveld, not House Sonneveld. We really need to do a Michael Schumacher, Ralph Schumacher sort of thing with them, don't we? Because they are both younger brothers and both have won races, so and stood on the podium together even. As there we go, Valente in a battle with Hutt. He's just gotten back around Hutt after the two of them were in a battle earlier. But it is up ahead, Cooper's. And I think that was Sonneveld just being jumped by Valestra then again, the two of them.
Yeah, look at Parkinson as well. Now he's taking his attack mode and he's closing within a second. Now it's 7 seconds. What's happened there? What happened to the gap there? Because it closed to that.
Is he coasting around? Something's going horribly wrong for Perikian.
He spun it!
That looked very slow. I wondered if I was having connection issues. Oliver Perikian retires then. So that's him out, and Frank Hamming goes up to second. What on earth has happened to Joshua Hamilton? We're seeing loads of DNFs popping up. Could this be a red flag? Brunshine is gone. Vilestra is gone.
There's a problem. They're gonna red flag this one, and everyone's DNFing. And I think it's a timing issue because as soon as they cross the line, look, we just saw it happen there. They get popped back to the pit lane. So this is gonna have to be a red flag and a restart, I feel.
Oh dear, it is a world exclusive track.
Hamilton's out! Hamilton is out! So they're going to have to red flag it, because if they're not crashing, then Sonneveld's champion. We're going to have to wait and see, and Ed, you might actually get to press the red flag button if it is a red flag.
Oh, finally, the R key comes in handy.
What on earth has happened?
We'll have to see. Who is left in this race then? It's almost like the connection issues are caught up with us then.
Well, Sonneveld becomes if this race is not stopped, Sonneveld becomes the champion. Hamilton is out of it, and we've only got 9 cars left.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or over 10 or 11 retirements now. It is only Sonneveld Hamming, 10 Sonneveld, Dan Hutt, Jack Jordan Martin in 5th, bizarrely. So he won't want this race to be stopped from a purely personal point of view. Rakovic 6th, Stefan 7th, Capriola 8th.
What is going on?
Villarenga will come up to 9th, and then Conan, I believe, is the last one not to be disconnected.
That's the problem. Look, they're getting forced off the track. And Sonneveld's out.
That's the red flag.
Red flag.
Yeah, the race is off.
Oh,
red flag.
There's a We're not sure what the issue is. We haven't seen it before, but the race is off for today.
Oh, that's it then. So that's
we're
really unfortunate news then for the title decider.
There will be a reschedule.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
next Wednesday, probably.
right, so that is extremely disappointing. I'm sure you'll agree, everyone.
Oh.
So we will have to wait another week to see the title settled then, but it will be House Sonneveld that starts on pole position then.
Are we going to do? Is it a whole restart, Nick, or is it going to be from the race itself next week, or do we have to redo quali as well?
I think it'll be completely fresh, or probably on a different track as well. I'm not sure, but
oh my, okay.
We'll see. Yeah.
Wow.
Shall we announce then? While we are.
May as well.
Yeah, let's give us something to.
So let's give a little bit of a joy to end what's been not an easy race. Then I've got something marked here that says which one should I go first for, Nick?
Calendar.
Okay, so I did briefly cook it before, but there we go. As you can see, during the off season, we have this little calendar from June through to July. So, this will fill us in until the real London E-prix, I guess. So we have round 1 of our off-season. This will all be with different cars, I believe.
Yep. So we've got the kart, not go-karts, but IndyCar.
Of course, the original car, which became Champ Car, of course.
Car owners racing teams, something like that, wasn't it, kart?
Okay. So that's our first round of this off-season championship, Long Beach. On the 1st of June for kart. Then we switch categories, we switch cars, we switch circuits. We go to the Norris Ring for Formula 3 action on the 15th of June. And it will be the same drivers, same teams, of course, in all of these races, but they'll all be fighting for the points overall. So it's the best of the best. It's the all-rounders off-season championship.
Don't think there's going to be a championship as such.
Okay, retract that.
I don't know.
It's all for fun. Nothing matters. Alton Park. We'll see the third round of this off-season championship with Formula 4 cars on the 22nd of June. Is that British F4 or just the FIA sort of?
They're just F4 cars.
Okay, there we go then. Very specific.
I'm looking forward to Baku with the F1
Yeah, there we go.
cars.
That's round 4 on the 29th of June. It's going to be the Azerbaijan Grand Prix Baku with 2022 Grand Effect Formula 1 cars. I believe it'll be the Formula Challenge car, isn't it, that's in this? Or is it Formula Pro?
Something like that.
One of the two. It's the one that they use in FSR at the moment and some other championships too. But that's 29th of June. Then the off-season championship will end with a DLC track, the Daytona 500. And is that going to be the full 500 miles or whatever it is? Or is it 500 laps?
Yes.
And that's going to be some NASCAR, so bump drafting, undertaking. It's all going to be there. And it's a very, very unique event then on the 9th of June.
I'm liking the look of that calendar as well. And certainly I'm looking forward to Baku and especially Daytona. Wow.
Anything else, Nick, that you'd like us to go through then?
I don't believe so for now. There'll be announcements in the Discord as to what's going on with the rescheduled race.
Ed, do you want to press that red flag button? Because
I did. I think I've remapped it because I pressed R and nothing happened. So I think Nick has remapped it because I was pressing it to try and do replays and ended up just causing red flags.
What an evening for me! I've got no IndyCar, now no EERC. I mean, I've got to go on Good Network.
Looks like the rain and the internet have conspired to ruin your commentary evenings, Joshua. But we did get a few laps.
A good few laps as well.
We got a preview, I guess. Let's put a brave face on it, shall we? And at least we got to see Jack John run in the top 5. I'm proud of our man.
It appears to be an issue with R-Factor 2 on the latest update.
Was it Pascal? Was Pascal the first to be affected by that, Nick? Or did he crash out and then all that craziness happened?
There was craziness from the green light.
Yeah, because 2 cars never got started, did there?
Valid didn't even get on the grid.
Yeah, so we had there were issues since the word go.
Okay. So we were thinking red flag for lap 1, and it took like 5 laps for the wall to catch up as well. So that's a shame. Still,
but anyway,
exciting. We'll call that a sprint. That's a sprint.
Yes, because that's what we really need in Formula E, more gimmicks.
Yeah, why not?
Anyway, so as much as that's a sad note, that we were really looking forward to that title decider. We hyped it up so much. I think to end the broadcast, and thanks for joining me, Joshua.
Pleasure.
We will hopefully next week on the what will the next Wednesday be? Today's the 18th. In 7 days' time, it will be the
25th.
So yes, so it'll be 25th of May that you will finally get to see the EERC London E-prix, and you'll see whether it's House Sonneveld or Joshua Hamilton that wins the championship. So I believe House Sonneveld will start on pole once more. They won't redo qualifying.
And we'll see. I don't know
okay.
what's
We'll
going
see,
on.
yeah.
Well, Joshua Hamilton will certainly want to redo, that's for sure. So it will be one of those two that wins the championship. That almost certainly, Pascal Aguet will still have a mathematical chance. So perhaps I don't want to say, no, in no way would he have engineered this. That's a ridiculous thing to say, Edward. But
He's got a magnet near his internet box.
yeah, but anyway, I think that's really all there is to really say. But let's, rather than ending on the downer of the race that didn't happen, let's focus on all the good action we have had so far this season and end by re-showing our highlights of the season and the title battle so far. We'll be back in a week's time, but until then, let's reflect on 6 races of brilliant action that we did complete, that did see the checkered flag, that saw that amazing title battle that's still yet to be concluded between Joshua Hamilton and House Sonneveld. Goodbye for now. See you in a week's time to finish the fight.
Sonneveld gets away. Oh, and Hamilton has actually made a really good getaway. So Hamilton now has to make the move work around the outside. But Michael Steffel is still there. Steffel to the outside then, into turn 1. Oh, this is great defending for Joshua Hamilton.
Hamilton looks again to the inside under the brakes as well.
Oh, through he goes. Up the inside. Chris Sonneveld powers towards the line now. And victory in the Berlin E-prix goes to the likeable Dutchman. Joshua Hamilton secures second.
Joshua Hamilton goes away and the Rome E-prix begins. Steffel is already trying to attack Sonneveld, but Sonneveld cuts him off.
Speed up!
Oh, who was that?
Sonneveld!
Sonneveld, he spun. Nothing could stop Joshua Hamilton today. Pole position, leading every lap, and victory for Joshua Hamilton. And Sonneveld will finish third. Tobias Blumschein leads the way from Rakovic. Once again, Rakovic gets really close to the back contact. Oh, and he's just squeezed through there. That was such a late move there. Oh, he's going to dive at the inside. Oh,
Contact!
Rakovic wins the Diriyah E-prix. Hamilton now finishes third. And we go green in Morocco. And Sonneveld gets a very good getaway. As here we go, Hamilton looks up the inside. And oh no, I've lost between these two, is there? Is that Rakovic going for the lead around the outside of Sonneveld? And he's done it. Sonneveld makes way. Oh,
Hamilton's got through! Oh, and Hamilton's on the inside, gets ahead of Rakovic.
How Sonneveld crosses the line just ahead of Joshua Hamilton to win.
Action in Punta. Good start from Hamilton as well. Gilles Sonneveld, he's up into 7th position. He started this race in 26th. He's had a mammoth run there.
It is Sonneveld going for the move down on Dan Hood. There we go, good Sonneveld makes the move into 3rd position.
Hamilton's in the wall! Down on the chicane! Sonneveld goes up the inside line. They go into the wall together, but Sonneveld comes out for his 2nd position. So close now! Don't make a mistake! Right to the back!
He's almost done it as well! He almost threw his way to
It didn't work out! Sonneveld went for the move in the last line, but the day belongs to Joshua Hamilton, who wins in Punta del Este!
The group being set off then. And it's Sonneveld that leads Michael Steffel. Is that Sonneveld just squeezing his way through? Yes.
Hamilton too!
And Hamilton through. That was very good there.
Oh,
Sonneveld the inside of Brecker, and he takes 3rd position there. So both our title contenders making moves on the streets of Bern. Here comes Oliver Brickian. Is that Joshua Hamilton retiring?
No!
Oh no! And Oliver Brickian, he's got Sonneveld on the outside into turn 8, and Sonneveld's through. But it's the younger brother Tayan who goes towards the line and wins in his own right. But here's House Sonneveld, and he takes the championship lead.